Yo, welcome once again to the We Are Gamers series. My name is your host, Champ Tone, aka Psychosis, a gamer with a passion for Jesus and gaming. Word, Jesus loves you. It is my privilege to have another returning guest, my favorite Malaysian Asian, known to those who have listened to our earlier podcast as just simply Panda. Let me introduce to you today. Welcome back, Panda. What's up, man?
Hey, nice to be back. Uh, it's been it's been an interesting time between then and now.
Yeah. You were telling me some stuff off the podcast. So since it seems like you've been having a life transition, which is interesting because I know sometimes with gaming and when you're a gamer and you're trying to get gaming with work life balance and everything. So what are you playing right now?
Oh wow, that's yeah. So basically, right now I'm mainly just playing games that can kind of stuff between my free time or games I can play when I'm tired. Like Legends
Mm.
of Runeterra, I started to get back into really hard because
Legend
like
of Runeterra,
yes, the card
really?
game from Riot. Yes, I've been playing it since like day one. I stopped in the middle, but when they
Mm.
released that single player mode, I was just like, wow, this is a game I could just randomly pop up and just, do a
It
couple
is. It's
missions,
good,
hop off.
right? You could just
Yeah.
jump in and you get into it. It's so easy. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, the card games. Well, I stopped playing a lot of the online card games for reasons due to
Ah.
due to circumstances. I can't play the Magic game at all. It sucks. But
Oh, those-
just Legends of Runeterra. There's nothing else been going on. You're just trying to squeeze it
well,
in.
yeah, so I've been, like you said, life transition. So I spent a full month when I left for Malaysia just not playing games because, internet issues. But then when I came back with the
Mm.
whole adult life shift, I realized I have a lot less time on my hands for games in general. So I
Yeah,
play the occasional Valorant. I've started to get back into Stardew because of that big update that I really want to try out.
nice Stardew Valley. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I've been playing a lot of just like calmish. Like I said, calmish games, but I mentioned Valorant. A lot of
Yeah.
calmish games, just like by myself, just for funsies. Because like I'm trying to experience that work-life balance, and I think once I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
adjusted, I'll start playing more games that I'm used to. Yeah,
And it's hard. It's hard because on the one hand, you're working, so you have so much less time. And then on
yeah.
the other hand, that's your hobby, but you're kind of tired. And it's like, what can I do in between? Are you still doing school or no?
I am out of school. I graduated,
Okay, okay.
yeah, a
Oh,
year ago.
congratulations. Nice.
Yeah. And like you
Cool.
said, it's pretty hard to play and then like explain to my teammates, sorry, I'm bad, but I'm also really tired from having an adult life. Then like
Well, not
the
dude. Do you understand who you're talking to, right? I play with
true,
a bunch of
that's
of we're 30 and 40-year-olds. We don't even need to say it. We already know. If
yeah.
someone's like, "Yo, it's listen," I'm the one that at 10:30 I'm like, "All right, it's past my bedtime. I'm going to bed." You know what I mean? Like this is the unfortunate transition of life.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but I can also feel myself being less addicted, I guess. I wasn't really addicted, but it was more like I'm
What do you
finding
mean?
happiness in other things. It's odd.
Mm.
Because
No,
I've
no,
always been
that's
like,
that's
yeah,
healthy.
I've always been tied to my computer and like the games, and I still love
Mm.
that life. But now that I have this other life, I feel like I'm less reliant on it. Like I still obviously enjoy and love playing games, like
Mm.
in my free time. But
Yeah.
then like that's the life part of me. The work part of me truly does enjoy just being outside too. It's cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's where the balance comes in. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
gaming is a hobby. It should be a hobby. For some people it's their life. It is. That's
Yeah.
fine. But,
Mhm.
for people like me, it's more of a hobby that I really enjoy, that I have a passion for. That's the
Yeah.
whole reason for the podcast and everything.
Mhm.
I've been playing games since I was what? Oh my lord, I can't even remember.
Entire life. If it's
Yeah,
past what you can remember, it's your entire
it
life.
has to be. I mean, I remember on Atari, the Atari 2600 when I
Damn.
was a little kid, and my parents used to get so mad, and I wasn't even playing crazy games, and yeah, it just stuck with me. But growing up, remember, I got married when I was young. I was married at 20 years old. I had
I do
my
remember that.
my
Yes.
first son, who I was 21 when he was born. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
actually, no, that's a lie. Yes, I was 21. My wife just just chimed in the background. So I was for me it's a whole lot different, but I understand the need. I always found time for gaming. Sometimes too much time, because I also had a family, and that
Yeah.
led to some issues. Which is, it's good to those are things that need to be confronted because then you have to deal with that work life balance. But that's good that you're finding like a healthy medium outside of the gaming space,
Mhm.
because and then you'll see, you'll find people that in that space will also be in the gaming space as well. And that's where you start making amazing friendships. Like all my buddies, for the most part, most of the people I play with online, I know them in real life. Like last year, one of my guys, my boy Avante, he got married, and
Wow.
our entire gaming group, no lie, dudes from North Carolina, from Florida. Well, the guy from Florida didn't come, sadly, but I know who he is. He used to live here in New York. But a bunch of dudes, we all got together, and Long Island, Queens. It was literally like a mashup event. It was crazy. They call it they called it like the real life cinematic epic movie.
Oh, the Marvel Cinematic
Yeah,
Universe
yeah, yeah,
moment.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's so
Because
cool.
it was cool. And it's funny. We took a picture. It was about 8 of us, and I told my wife their gamer names. I didn't tell them their real names because my wife, she doesn't know them by their real name. She hears me
Yeah.
talking to them, you know. But that's cool. And as you go on, hopefully you get. Wow, that's cool, man. That's
I've
cool.
yeah,
It's
I've
wild,
always
though, right?
wondered about that part. Yeah, because I think the biggest part is the realization that like meeting people is not
Mm.
the same way as before. You can't use the same method, you can't like go through the same path. It's just a whole different lifestyle of actually meeting people. And
Yeah,
I am not
you
a
gotta be
bar kind of
nice.
guy,
You gotta.
so
No, I mean, you meet people in all sorts of ways. Like
true.
that guy Avante, I met him. I think we were having a house party at my house, and I started playing Magic the Gathering, and he was just interested in it. He came. He was one of my brother's friends, and that's a relationship that just stemmed from that. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
through other people, someone, another friend of mine that I'm cool with. She is crazy. Where I work, she was a coworker of mine, and she's saying quotes from Overwatch. And I'm like, wait a second,
That's
what is
cool.
this lady talk? She's talking about Overwatch. She's not young. She's like maybe a little younger than me. And I'm like, you play Overwatch? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, you play Diva? Because the quote, she kept saying certain quotes. I knew exactly who she was talking about. And
Mhm.
she's like, "Yeah, how do you know?" I'm like, "I'm a Zen main, and I've reached diamond in that game. I'm pretty good at it." She was like, "Are you serious?" And we just became good buddies after that.
Man, that is really cool.
Actually, no, I was flat. Sorry, I'm
Oh, of
I'm
course.
I'm over exaggerating.
It's
That's
okay.
awesome. That's awesome. All right, so
What's overestimating is why you became friends. Yeah. It's how you bring them the reputation. It's all about the
exactly,
reputation.
you got to make the story so much better. You
Of
know what I mean?
course, yeah.
That's wild. So like these other games you're playing is basically just because you're trying to just squeeze in the time and
Yeah,
do
until I
stuff.
get fully adjusted, absolutely.
I got you. So let me ask you something because I know Legends of Runeterra and Valorant too. They're technically free to play, but have stuff that you can buy. Do you have like a gaming budget or anything right now? Because now that you're, and it's funny too,
Ooh,
because now is the meme where it's like you have money for games, but then it's like you don't have the time to play them. So you're gonna feel this. I hate to say that because it's a meme for a reason.
it's a sacrifice we unfortunately have to
It is.
make.
It is. I remember the first time I saw that meme, like I felt it. I was like, whoever wrote this, I know. The first time I saw that thing, I was like, it's an old meme too. But
Oh,
do you have a gaming budget, or you just like, oh, I have more I have more income that I can expend.
I guess I don't exactly have a gaming budget. It's more
Mm,
like I'm like we said, I'm still transitioning a bit for like the life
Mm.
wise. So I'm kind of still the same as before, where I'm really frugal with my money, especially when it comes to
Okay.
games. So
Okay.
microtransactions out of the picture.
So I
Okay,
don't want.
TFT passes. Maybe I just maybe it's like once a few months. That's fine.
Oh, like the monthly passes and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
the
Yeah,
TFT
yeah,
battle
yeah.
passes. But
I got you.
when it comes to buying games, I guess I've
Mm.
become less hesitant because I keep thinking to myself, well, I work, and
Mm. Yeah.
because I have less time, I want to make that time as valuable as possible. So that's how I like. It's copium. Let's be honest. It's copium to buy a game.
That's
But
funny.
I keep
It is.
thinking
It
I
does.
want to
It does
experience
feel
just more
good.
things, so I go for it, and I'm like, this is worth
Mm.
it. It's fun. It's
No,
genuinely
that's not.
amazing.
And that's yeah. That's your hobby. You like to do it. Aren't the games getting a little crazy though with the
Oh yeah,
spending? Like I had a panel. I think it was 3 weeks ago, but a few weeks back we had a panel where we talked about it, and one of the people on the panel actually made a good point that games have been like in the $50-$60 range,
yeah.
since Super Nintendo. We would buy that cartridge. It was a $50 cartridge. You know what I mean? Some PlayStation
Mhm.
games were $60. So that's not exactly new, but and in the past few weeks, I think it's really come to light because there was this one game, this new Star Wars game that came out. They have an absurd, and when I mean absurd, I mean this is an absurd pricing bundle where you can get like a deluxe edition for $130. And all
Holy.
Yeah, and I was like, "Yo, that is insane." And it's not even a physical copy. You're not even getting like a cool collector's, you know what I mean? Because I have some
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
World of Warcraft collector's editions because they gave you this cool box that you have the book art and stuff like that. It's just cool to have. You know what I mean? Like I have it on the shelf, and like people will see it. It looks like it may be a book, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, it's like a
actually
collector's item. It's just
yeah, yeah.
awesome to have.
It is, and but this is none of that. This isn't like
Mhm.
the Call of Duty one where it came with a drone or a helmet. You know what I
It did?
Yeah, one time
Holy
one
hell.
time this was years ago though. Years ago when it was first getting big. Yeah, it was kind of cool. I was like, "Ooh,"
That's
but it
cool.
was like a
That is
hundred.
cool.
That was like $100, but you got a tangible item. You
Yeah.
know what I
Do you
mean?
remember
But
do you remember the Halo when you got the Master Chief helmet back then?
yes, yeah, yeah, that
Oh
was that
my
was another one.
god.
That's great. You
People love
know,
that.
and but now you pay the $130. They have a DLC that you can get that I think is another $60. Plus, they have a $40 battle pass, I believe.
Oh my
And
god.
they have content locked behind the DLC already. So if you don't get the DLC, you already can experience the whole game that you just paid like 100 something like that. And it's insane. I'm like, "What the heck? This is
That is
bonkers."
Mhm.
You know what I
Oh
mean?
my
And
god.
and a
Yeah.
lot of the games that have come out have been so bad. Like they're not good. They're just okay, from big
Yeah.
studios where you have the indie games. Like I don't know if you've really experienced this. Maybe you will, as time goes on, but I know I have. It's been crazy. Okay, I'm getting off on a crazy tangent. So
Yeah.
so let me ask you something though. What kind of games do you prefer to play though? Solo or multiplayer mostly?
Ooh. Okay. So my friends, some of them at least, have not gotten into like the career life yet because it's still early and also holy hell the economy. But
Mm,
basically with them not being up there yet
hmm.
fully, it's just
Yeah.
kind of hard to play multiplayer games when the people you play multiplayer with are not online. It kind of feels like I have to play with strangers, which is okay. I actually do like meeting people online and like just having fun with strangers.
Okay.
But single player games just on my own time just feel better right now. I've always felt
Mm,
like that for a while. That
yeah.
I just whenever I want to quit, I just stop. Whenever I want to keep playing, I just can.
That's a
And it's
good
just
point
yeah.
about the single players are. I mean, for me, they can be way more relaxing.
There, yeah, no one's relying on you, you
It's
know.
not
I
it's not
was
stressful. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Fun fact, that's actually why I stopped playing League
Oh my god.
a very long time ago because I
When's the
realized
last
that
when's the last time you played it? How long ago has it? How long has it
okay,
been?
ARAM about a month. Summoner's
Oh, that's
Rift,
not that long.
maybe a year or two.
Wow. You
Because
just stepped, you
yeah,
just said the hell with it.
yeah, because like I realized that I thought a lot about myself, like personality wise. I'm a
Yeah.
very like people pleaser kind of person, which means that in League as a jungler, if I piss anyone off, I start hating on myself, and I
But
realized what that was doing to me.
that's every
And
game.
not single player games because then
If
you
you're
can trash on
no, no,
yourself
no.
and get better.
I mean as a jungler in League, that's every game for you that
Oh
you're going to
yeah,
get
yeah,
because
yeah,
everything is the jungler's fault.
yeah.
You're the reason they lost the lane. You're the reason that they got ganked. It's your fault.
But
Trust
hey,
me, I
you're
know
also the
this.
reason you win. So hey, if they,
Wow.
oh god,
No, that's interesting. That's interesting. So I know you're playing like League of Runeterra stuff like that. What is your if you could just sit down and play any genre of a game, what would be your favorite genre to play?
see, that one.
Like
That one's the
outside of
hardest one. That
Mhm.
one's the hardest question I think you could have asked because I play so many different genres because I love experiencing new things.
Yeah.
But I guess if I was to pick one favorite genre, it would be weirdly enough fighting games. I love
Really?
fighting games.
You
I
have
know it sounds so weird because I don't play them that often.
I
But the thing is, I've always loved
wow.
fighting games.
What's
Yeah,
your favorite one?
my favorite one. Oh, it has to be, I guess, the one I played the most, Skullgirls. I really am excited for the
Wait, which
League
one?
fighting game though. Skullgirls.
What is that? I've never
Heard of
heard
it?
of that.
No. It's kind of like
Skull Girls?
it's just it's just a basic fighter. It's just that they have like special characters. It's a
It's a
very
it's a 1v1.
it's a 1v1. It's not a very common or popular game. It's just out there and it's nice.
Is it
Oh
one of those waifu simulators that that I
no.
can't play, cuz
I mean, depends on what character you play. But
oh my god.
but also, okay, if I wasn't to choose that, I would choose roguelites. Roguelikes are the ones I play the absolute most out of.
Oh, okay.
Because if
Any
hmm?
go ahead. Any particular one that's like you really like prefer? 'Cause there's so
Well,
many.
yeah, of course. Legends of Runeterra is technically the single player mode is technically a roguelike. It's a roguelike card game.
Really?
Slay the Spire, yeah, it's Slay the Spire is plenty fun too.
I
You
haven't
try
played that
it.
game in so long.
You gotta try it.
And I've only
But
done the multiplayer, so
oh,
wow.
okay, yeah, the multiplayer is nice, but it got a little too competitive for me.
Mm. Right,
But
if you didn't yeah, it gets crazy.
yeah, I'm just not a competitive guy.
Mm.
Ish. I get competitive when I want to win, but like when it comes to
Well,
actually ranking up,
well,
not so much.
that's when you should be competitive when you want to win.
Of course, yes. But let's see. I guess. A nice one is just. I love Monster Hunter. I'm sorry, I'm going on like a random, like not even just genres, but I love games specifically, not by like the genre they are, but by the game.
And that's fine.
And
That's fine.
I love Monster
I
Hunter
would never peg you for a someone who
fighting.
actually liked fighting games though. That's cool. That's cool. My
To be
favorite is
fair,
actually Killer Instinct, just
oh,
it's
that's
free
interesting.
on Steam and the Xbox app. They have an anniversary edition and it's free. If you like fighting games with a very deep combo system, I would try it out. It's so much fun.
That sounds interesting. All right, I
Yeah.
might check it out. But yeah,
Yeah. When you get
yeah,
the chance cuz I know time's precious for you.
of course, yeah. When I get more adjusted, maybe I'll just go all in and become a Killer Instinct master.
Oh my
But
goodness.
but
So
yeah, fighting games haven't been super prominent in my like roster, but I just love
mm,
them. I don't know why.
are there any games that you just avoid that you just won't play at all that you hear what it is and what it's about and you're just like ugh.
I might get attacked for this one, but do you know Hoi, like Hearts of Iron?
Yes.
Okay, Hearts of Iron, Civilization, all those kinds of games, I completely avoid. I cannot. I
Wait. So RTS games or
like
the
political
X4
games.
games?
X4 games because
Okay.
RTS games I love like StarCraft.
I was gonna
But
say,
when
man, we had some
yeah,
serious games playing
still want
multiplayer
to play
StarCraft too. You know what I
StarCraft.
mean?
I
I
still love
remember those
StarCraft.
games. I remember that
Yeah.
too. That we had that 3-player free for all. You guys thought you killed me,
Oh,
and I just stood in the corner
you
and
were
I built
hiding
all
in a
those battleships.
corner. It's been so long trying to find you.
I know. I was like, oh god.
Like,
That
You're
was
like, I'll take second. But as long as I don't get
I
last,
didn't
and
care.
that's all that matters.
It was so good. It was so yeah. I was gonna say. So you don't like the X4 games? That's
Yeah.
I can see. I like. I kind of. I've been playing a game called Stellaris.
Oh, that's the biggest offender.
Really?
I I've been invited to play so many times, but I know each game lasts like days, minimum days. Not even like
Yes.
around days, but
Yes,
yes,
they
yeah,
do.
it's just
Yes, they
yes they
do.
do.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the draw for me. But I play. So I just play. It's called Driven Assimilator. So
Mm.
basically, you just you fight people and you just take them over and they just become part of you. So I'm just like,
Ooh.
this is it's like no politics. Freak the politics. Somebody pisses me off. It's like, okay, let's measure their strength. How big is my army? All right, they're the next target for assimilation. Let's go.
Wait, that's actually really cool. You just start collapsing their economy, take their stuff. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's exactly how it works. You go in, you declare war on them. Well, for Driven Assimilator, I feel that the war mechanics are just so much simpler because yeah, it gets crazy because there's diplomacy. There's like a war timeout. You can depending on the type of empire you have. There's different, I guess, goals
Ooh.
for winning a war. So sometimes you have and I don't understand them, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, this is annoying. Why can't I
I'm just
just
kill
fight
everybody.
them?
Screw it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but I'm not killing them. I'm bringing them into. I'm assimilating them.
It's
So
similar,
I'm
yeah.
I'm improving their quality of life. You know what I mean? I'm making them better, and
Yeah,
they may not
yeah,
want it, but
yeah.
eventually they'll comply, and it's all good. You know?
So you're like the prime definition of dictator.
Yes,
Yes.
pretty pretty much. And I have no qualms about when I learned you could do that because I didn't know that at first, and I was trying different settings because remember I can't really see a lot of the game,
All
so
right.
so I literally learned that game on the fly playing it, and I was like, oh, I can create a species, a race and stuff, and I was like, oh, what's this driven assimilator? Hmm. So I listened to a video on YouTube, and I was like, oh, is this for real? No. So I was like, I can be like the Borg and just it was crazy. But what's wild is that you can do things with so you make like a galactic council and you could be on it as the guy
Ooh.
who's assimilating everyone. It's so weird. Like it's like
That's freaky but cool.
I know
Okay.
it's so funny. It's so funny. Wow. So you just don't. What is it about it that you don't like? They just take too long.
I guess it's the taking too long and having to wait for other people to make their move. I'm more of like a
Mm,
reactive kind of game
yes,
person.
it's definitely not right.
Yeah, bullet hells, fighters. I guess that's why. Just
Oh, you
stuff in
like
general
bullet
that
hell
gets my
games?
blood
Yeah.
pumping. Anything that gets my blood pumping, I
Mm,
love. It just feels really good to like pull off something really cool.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh,
So do you prefer indie games over like the real mainstream games, or at this point it's just like whatever you can play, really?
I do actually prefer indie games. I
Mm.
I didn't think about it until like maybe a few years ago, but I realized I looked at my library and I don't have a single AAA game except for maybe Monster Hunter World that I love. But
Really?
AAA games are getting expensive, like you said. I've
Yeah,
seen
they
one to go
are.
to like
Oh my
$70
goodness.
now. I think the average is 70 around so.
$70, but they're not even
It's
worth it,
yeah. They're not. They're really not because some
in
indie
my
games just have
opinion.
the charm about them. They have this beautiful charm.
Yes. Yes. And
So there's this.
and
Oh, sorry.
go
Go.
ahead.
Oh, there's this game called Yomi Hustle that I started to get into a bit. It's called
Yomi
your
Hustle?
yeah. It stands for
Okay.
Your Only Move Is Hustle. It's a turn-based fighting game.
What?
It's
So it's
crazy.
like
It's
an
like
RPG fighting game?
weirdly enough, kind of because basically the way it works is you choose your move and you don't know
Uh-huh.
what the other person's choosing in that frame, and you fight between the frames, and at the end it shows you the full fight as if so you're doing frame perfect dodges by the end, but obviously you're like controlling
What?
yourself. It looks
Yeah.
so cool. It's all about predicting the other person's movements and then like
Mm.
reacting accordingly. It's just really cool game.
That sounds
I've
like
never
a
seen anything
real
like it
interesting
before.
game actually. Wow.
It
Yeah,
is, yeah.
I've never heard of anything like that. That sounds really interesting
Yeah.
actually. Wow.
And that's what I mean. I feel like indie developers take that chance of making something new, while AAA
Yes.
games want to like put out a
Yes.
staple, like GTA
Yes.
6 or something like that, and it just gets kind of boring.
Yeah, someone I was talking to this week that you know. We were talking about how the developers of these indie companies aren't gamers,
They're
they're
not. Yeah.
developers. So
Mhm.
they're getting a project plan, because I used to work in IT, so I know how this goes. The
Yeah.
developers, they get a project plan, and they're given a list of requirements of what to develop. It needs to do this, and this. So these developers now are making games. So there's no passion. You know what I mean? They're not doing
Yeah.
it in a way, because you can see it in games that are made by gamers, like all the so a lot of these. The sad thing is, a lot of these AAA studios used to be those type of studios. Blizzard. Look at Blizzard. They're the worst offender, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. They've been imploding quite a bit.
Oh man, it's so bad. But they started as developers wanting to develop a game they would want to play.
Yeah.
Diablo 1 and 2 were games that the developers who made them wanted to play. World of Warcraft, made by developers that they played the game. They played the game. This was,
Mhm.
and that you see it, because then you have a game. So like, look at the games now. It's ridiculous. These who's the, I think it's Ubisoft. They're calling their games quadruple A games now. You know what I mean?
That's
Games.
just
It's so
ridiculous.
it's so, but the games suck. It's not even like they're good.
They're
You know what I
not.
mean? If
Yeah.
they were good, and actually they have all these technical problems on top of the fact that the gameplay is just okay. You know what I mean? It's not even like,
Yeah.
wow, this is amazing, I want to play this. No, the game is like, why? I don't want to pay for that. And
Yeah. They
gamers
just.
gamers will
Mm-mm.
pay for a game that's good, that they want to play. It's such a weird. Oh my goodness. I was thinking about this with, so there's an old MMO that got run to the ground by EA. I think it was EA. It was called Star Wars Galaxies.
I've heard of that, I think.
This game was phenomenal. It was so much fun. It had a thriving ecosystem. Like, even if you were a character that would give out buffs, you can make a living in game by just, people would form a line to get your buffs. Like, I know Medic did it because I was a medic. I had a character who was a medic, and that's how I would make money. But I needed items from farms. I would go on planets, set up farms on the planets, because there were whole planets that were just like these empty areas. It was amazing. I thought that game was so good. Then something happened. I think it was. I could be wrong about this, but a company came in and said, "Oh, we need to attract more players." Weird, because they were making so much money. Like, the game was
Yeah.
a success. Oh, we need to make more money. So they literally scrapped how their game worked. So it's something called NGE. When you get a chance, Google Star Wars Galaxy NGE, what happened, and it'll explain the debacle. So basically, they changed their entire game. Changed the entire game. They ruined it to try to attract this imaginary group of people that they thought they were going to get, that would out that would be more than the player base that they had. You know what happened? I mean,
I'm guessing their original player base just left.
the original player base left. No new players liked it because it was stupid, and it just, what was a once thriving community, great game, went from amazing, and the game was destroyed. And it was like in a span of like 2-3 months. It was crazy.
Man,
Crazy. And
that
yeah, bro.
that is awful. I feel like there has to be some kind of balance between like understanding what modern and like new players want while also respecting what the old players loved out of the game in the first place. There's some
I,
kind of balance in there.
I wonder, that's an interesting point, but I wonder if it's more than that. You know what I mean? Because you're a developer, so you understand timelines and things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And as a big company, sometimes that gets in the way, where it's like, okay, we have a bottom line. Because what game? So okay, I'll take let's take Diablo 4, right? That
Mhm.
game's been in development for 10 years. It was all right. It wasn't like horrible, but in hindsight, so I started playing a game called Last Epoch, And that game, I can barely even see the item names and stats. But I'm
Hmm.
having so much more fun playing Last Epoch than I was playing Diablo 4. It's hard to explain. It's really
That's
hard
is it like
because
the feel of the experience of the game?
the game. And so I did some research, found out the guys who made Last Epoch, they love playing. They love that genre. So this is the whole. And it only took them 3 years to make this game, and they already
Wow.
have so much more in terms of gameplay items, functionality than Diablo 4 has, which is insane. Last Epoch, you know how much Last Epoch costs?
Uh,
$35.
wow.
Bro, $35. They had a development team, I think about 20 people. The group that did it. Yeah,
I think it really is just passion makes the best product.
it does.
It's all about passion when it comes to this.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what most things. You know what I mean? If it's something
Yeah.
you're passionate about, wouldn't you just do better at it? Think
Yeah.
about it.
I've had development products where I just did not really feel it. You know,
Mm.
like it's that I sorry to phrase it this way, but that locked in feeling of like you see a there's an idea you have and there's a product you want to make and you see the end goal or at
Yes,
least a
yes.
future, some kind of
That's
future, and you think I want to be there somehow, and you work so hard at it. That's like the thing
oh
I feel like
man.
the
Yeah.
money makers are just missing. They're just missing.
Absolutely. You know what that's called? There's a word for that.
Hmm?
It's called vision.
Yeah.
When people have a vision for what they want, you know what I mean? They have a
Hmm.
vision for how the game is supposed to play. They have a vision. So if you don't have that, and this is the mistake I see happening, and it's sad because all these game studios are laying off thousands of people now because of their lack of insight. Yeah, they made a lot of money, and now they have a gazillion battle passes, a gazillion cosmetic horses that you can ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like
Yeah.
40 bucks. But again, not even so the guy at the top is not a visionary. He's just a CEO that wants to make money. So his whole thing is like, how can we get the most money out of this game? Not, oh, what if we and this is again, this is just my opinion. If you disagree, go right ahead, you know?
I
But
completely agree with you.
you know,
Wholeheartedly. Yeah.
yeah, when you have someone at the top that has a vision for a great game, it'll translate into the product. It'll translate into the people you get because they'll see what you want. They'll see that vision, which translates into an amazing product. And you
Yeah.
see it with successful games. All these studios that are kind of failing right now, that's how they started.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
It's just
I just went on a crazy rant. I'm sorry.
no, no, I completely get what you mean. It's just I get it because we both have seen it. Even like
Yeah.
from more years or less years, it's just such a blatantly obvious thing that these companies are just gearing more towards billions of microtransactions and making the most money they physically can.
Oh my god, I
And that's their
know.
goals. And
Yes.
it's understandable because it's the CEO's goal, obviously, to keep the company running. And what does
Right.
that take?
Right.
Money.
Right.
But there's also like there has to be some kind of drive to even want the company to be running and want
Yes.
the company to be in a place where it's supposed to be, where it was
Right.
meant to be, or
Right.
where they
Right.
should want it to be.
Right.
Yeah,
You could want to make money, but make the great game that will make a lot of money.
yeah, you have to understand the process as well. It's
Right.
just yeah,
Oh, it drives me crazy. All right, so here let's get to the rest of this.
right. Yes.
This has been a while. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm ranting more than
Oh
anything.
no, it's okay. Of course, it's
It's
great.
just been bothering me. I've been hearing all this stuff, and I'm just like, what the heck am I listening to right now? All right,
Yeah.
so you've been talking. You had a transition last year. Now you're working more. You know, you've had to adjust life and stuff like that. So
Yes.
outside of all that, especially in 2023, did you have any actual like gaming goals, or were all your goals more just trying to change your life goals that you had?
Well, that huge shift I was talking about when it came to switching from playing games every single day at home to actually having an adult life, a work life balance at some point kind of that was my main thing to strive for. You know, keep
Mm,
applying for things, keep studying, and all that.
yeah.
But when it comes to actually gaming, I feel like I accidentally did kind of divide myself because when it came to
Mm,
games, I never really had like a super strong goal in mind when I played games.
mm,
They're
mm,
always like for me stress relief. They're always just to have fun, to meet new people, to be like an experience with my friends. But when it came to Valorant, so
oh
I'm
no.
notoriously bad at shooters ever since I was a kid.
Oh boy.
But I do have this thing, and not to brag, but I do have this thing where when I pick up things very fast, especially
Mm,
games, to the
mm.
point where friends have told me they don't want to play games with me anymore. But especially new games.
Damn, bro.
But Valorant was a shooter, so I started off pretty bad.
Okay.
And I just kept at it, and I started playing, and it started being really fun to like be
Mm,
good at a game that I thought I was bad at.
mm.
And obviously, when I stopped, that was my goal. And I started making some really cool things that actually impressed my higher rank friends. I never
Nice.
went to the higher rank because I still suck. But at least I impressed. I like, you know, it's those moments of like, oh my god, that was so cool, and then you
Yeah,
immediately just
yeah.
nosedive into like inting for the rest of the game. But you clip those cool moments, and you're like, man, I was so cool that game.
That's funny. That's
I
what.
think
No,
that was my
that's
goal.
cool.
Just
That's
yeah, just
cool.
doing that stuff just made me feel so happy. Just like improving in that way, just
Yeah,
made me
yeah,
feel
yeah.
cool.
That's funny. That's funny. So the the dudes that you play with, or the people that you play with, really do you are you known for anything? Like when you're like, what do you think your friends think about when they think about you on their team? Like, are you known for anything in the gaming space?
Okay, again, I don't have much self confidence in myself, but when it comes to games, my friends do rely on me because I am usually good at them.
Yeah, you are. I can
So
say
on a
that.
te-
You're the
so on a
freaking.
team, yeah, on a team they like being on my team.
Mm.
But I guess the if there was anything else I'd be known for is, and unfortunately, you did experience this years and years ago at the wrong time.
Oh no.
But I am a very casual person, so when I play games, I will screw around. I will mess with things intentionally or do very dumb stuff, and usually it works out. And usually, especially in like stuff like
Usually,
TFT,
usually.
especially in TFT, there's this weird motto that every time I say, "Guys, I'm gonna do something dumb," they go, "Yeah, but you know, it's probably gonna
Does
work
it does
still."
it work though? I mean, if
It
it
does.
works, then it's all
Scarily
right.
enough, it does. Sometimes I get eighth place though, but we don't talk about those times. We talk
Yes.
about the
Oh my
highlights. We
goodness.
talk about the times it does
Oh
work. You
my god.
know.
Oh my god.
And
I think everyone I know who says that is either amazing at video games or is incredibly lucky because
yeah,
it'll either really work really well or just be straight fail. You know?
or it just looks like you're just inting the whole game.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing, man? It's like, trust me, it could have worked in
Oh
a
my
different
goodness.
universe.
There's a buddy of mine who does the same thing. He's like, trust me, guys. I don't know if you play with him. His name is Tiny. He's actually my little brother, and
Oh,
he's notorious for that. And unfortunately, half the time it doesn't work. And we're just like, bro, no, no, don't do that. Don't do that. It's not gonna work. He's like, I got a plan, guys. I got a plan.
trust
I
me,
got a
trust
plan.
me.
Right, right, just like that. And I'm just like, oh, whenever I hear that, I'm like, oh no, I get so triggered. I'm like, oh no, this is not gonna work. Okay, let's be supportive. Let's not be toxic like we used to be.
When it fails, we need to support him. We need to raise him up,
Yeah.
but tell him not to do it
Oh,
again. But
oh man, yeah, man. When I hear that, that's like, oh no, we're going all in. Let's go. All right, let's hope for the
we
best.
are okay. Well, let's go. It's just,
Oh,
it's a
that's
fun
hilarious.
experience, though.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. So like when your friends see you online, like what's the first thing you think that goes through their head? Because you know how sometimes you go online and you'll see a name, and there's certain people that you just tend to gravitate to, but you always have something in your mind about them. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this person, he kind of gets a little ragey, or I know if I play with
Oh,
this guy, he's going to have like a cool catchphrase or something like that. Like, what's the first thing that goes through what do you think is the first thing that goes through your buddies' minds when they see your name pop up, like in whatever game you're playing with?
so I can't say most about my friends, but because like we have a very casual, like just like hop on, like kind of like friend, like playing like gaming relationship,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So it's mostly like, oh, like they text me, oh, no invite, as in a joking way. But like, if I'm playing by myself, like a single player game. But if
Mm,
I'm, it's just a very general like, they see me online, they go, hop on, you want to play this, you want to play this, like they're very excited to play because like we always love
nice.
games. But the
All right.
difference, but the thing is, that's not exactly what I want to mention. It's the fact that, okay, this is a weird fact,
Go, go.
but I judge people based on how they play games, their
Mm.
personality. Because
Really?
I'm a firm believer of, especially when it comes to League of Legends,
Oh God.
people's true personalities really come out when you play League of Legends.
Sadly, yes.
So I've seen the worst and the best of people. I've understood
Mm.
myself better because of these games. For example, I learned I learned that when I'm playing games
So
that
much truth.
or in life in general, I start to like self-deprecate when I start to
Mm.
think I'm letting people down. I have other friends who I've noticed like when they get too energetic or too like into the moment, they just become impulsive and reckless. In game too and in
Yes,
real life.
yes, yes,
I've noticed when
yes.
some people like
That's interesting
they
you
play
say that.
games, and then once they have the little slightest hiccup, they start downsliding and going
Oh,
downfall, windfall.
they start losing
And then
their
I realize, yeah,
minds.
and then I realize in real life that happens too. And I'm like,
Oh man.
that's why I decide like when I play with someone and I see that when they play games, it's kind of an attitude I don't vibe with,
Mm.
but and they don't seem to be changing or like meaning to change it. Then I know that they're something is up. At least it's like a big red flag.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bro, you're that's mad philosophical, man. But it's true. It someone once said, a friend of mine once said this because we were talking about a streamer, and the streamer said on his, I forget who it was. He was a Challenger League player. He's like, "Why does this game bring the worst out in me?" And my friend, almost like on cue, is like, "It's not bringing the worst out in you. That means that was inside you all this time. Like you need to
Damn.
understand that, you know." And I
Yeah.
was like, and it was kind of profound because it's true. You know what I mean? When we rage, that's what's in us.
Yeah.
It's not bringing out what something we don't have. It is bringing out sometimes the worst.
Unfortunately so.
Sometimes the worst in us.
It
Oh
sometimes helps
man.
us understand ourselves to like what we
Yeah.
want to change in
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, mad self-reflective right now. Holy cow. But we gotta get through this now. Cause
Of course, yeah.
that whole we could go into a whole other conversation about that.
Oh,
Cause
absolutely.
I know for me, I've had to self-reflect a few times because I've been that guy and I'm like, oh man, that's something I need to work on. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But there's some people that don't work on it and think and just like are like whatever. And which, it is what it is. But for me personally, I felt like I had to work on that. I was like, "Oh no,
Yeah.
I can't lose my," because it happened with Bumble one time to the point
Hmm.
that he didn't want to play with me anymore in any game because
Damn.
I lost my temper with him, and I didn't understand what happened. He just never wanted to play with me, and one day I hear him, he tells me he's just like, you're gonna yell at me again, and I felt so bad. I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh no, I can't do that. I can't do that. That's not, and that's my own son. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? This isn't even like randos who I probably have gotten stupid with too. And but that's neither here or there. All right, so here this last question. Nothing crazy. I mean, I know we're in 2024. You going through the changes you have in your life, work life balance, and all that. So, do you have any type of actual gaming goals for 2024 or
Hmm. I'm not. I'm not sure because like gaming goals is a really subjective term.
it is?
So obviously, I think the obvious answer would always be like, "Oh, I want to be plat in this game or challenger in this game this season."
Mm,
I'm a little different since I'm more of like a casual person.
yeah.
I don't care about that stuff as much. I care more. I guess this would be my gaming goal for the year. I want to meet new people. My
Mm,
gaming goal for the year is to meet as many people as possible and befriend as many people as possible in as many games as possible. Because I've
interesting.
always
Yeah.
loved just having a community around me. Whether
Yeah.
they're close or far or anything, I just love having people you know?
Yes.
And I think that's the main thing I really want out of this year, to find that work-life balance and enjoy it with just new people whenever I can, wherever they
That's
are.
that's a good goal, man. That's a very good goal, actually. I mean, yeah, that you've literally just gave me a gaming slash life slash personal slash work slash overall goal for this year. That's a
Yeah.
good goal, man. I like that goal. I really do. And listen, I hope you're able to like meet some people in this new space. I mean, it's cool, you're still kind of young,
Mhm.
especially compared to me. But
No, you're plenty young. Come on, you still got many more years.
listen, bro,
Many, many more
I
years.
turned 44 last year. All right,
Wow.
it's rough.
It's not that bad. My parents are 65 and 59
Oh
respectively.
my
So
goodness.
you're doing great.
I guess, man. But yeah, this was good, man. Yo, Nelson Panda, thank you for coming on the show. This was
Thanks for
this was
having
real
me.
good. It's always interesting talking to you. You always have some very interesting insights, believe it or not. I know you talk about lack of confidence, but when you talk, you have so much confidence in when you speak, just so you know what I mean? Just take that
Yeah,
with you, all right?
I've heard that before. Yeah, thank you. It's
All
it's
right.
weird. I'm the most extroverted introvert you'll meet. There you
Yes,
go.
you are. You are. I agree. I agree with that. Yes, that's all I could say. Even the few times I've met you in real life, it's like, wow, this guy's like a social butterfly. Holy cow. And you're like, no, I really don't. I'm like, dude,
It depends on the day. Depends on the day.
so funny, man. So funny. So listen, I would just want to say, as we wrap up, thank you for being a guest on the show, and I appreciate you being on. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'd love to be on any time again.
Sounds good, man. Sounds
Maybe
good.
in the next life change, when I'm pregnant.
Oh my God. Oh man. Oh, you made me choke, bro. Stop. All right, so let me just wrap it up. All right, everyone. So everyone who was listening, thank you for joining in, tuning in, letting us grace your ear space. Remember, you are awesome. Jesus loves you, and ganadora.